For only $43,103, you're saving thousands. Just call their lucky number at 814-948-7777. And you can check out the rest of their inventory on the web at luthercdjr.com. Luther Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Northern Cambria, where people still make the difference. And don't forget to tell your friends about them.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com on a beautiful Friday morning. Kind of cool outside. And in the studio with us, Linda Gibson is here, Doug Hilliard as well. We're going to talk about Ramps of Hope and another AARP program that will inform us all about that. Our conversation presented by Marcus and Mack, voted Best Law Firm and Best Personal Injury Lawyer 3 years in a row. In the Best of Indiana County contests, visit them online, marcusandmack.com. Morning, folks.
Good morning. Good morning, Todd.
Good to have you both with us here today. I thought that maybe your mics weren't working there for a second.
I was waiting to flick a switch.
I'll do the switch flipping here. That's another Brian Regan bit. Hey, Ramps of Hope is a wonderful, wonderful organization, and it's a volunteer organization. Linda, Doug is actually going to be making the presentation next, what is it, Tuesday?
Correct. Tuesday, that would be, the 15th of October?
Yep.
At 1 o'clock in the Indiana Mall's community room. So if you're standing in the middle of the Indiana Mall and you look at K Jewelers, the community room is directly to the left.
All right. Very easy to find, right there in the center of the mall, and it's a wonderful program. It's a great organization, Doug. It's been probably a few years since you've been here.
It has been.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We started the ministry back in 2011, actually. So we've been going on. This will be 15 years.
Yeah. So when we think about it, there are probably plenty of folks who don't know what Ramps of Hope does.
Yeah. What we do, of course, we're a Christian organization. Most of our volunteers, not all, are from local churches. And if someone's in need, whether it's because of a condition that they have and they can't get in and out of their home safely, then they would call us and we're able to provide a ramp to make it safer for them to exit their home.
Yeah, and one of the things about that is that, everybody has a different appearance to their home, different features of their home, and maybe different challenges in making a ramp that's going to be customized to their home and enable them to move about. And you guys take that into account.
Yes. Part of the process, once we get a referral that someone's in need of a ramp, we'll go out and take some measurements and try to figure out the best design that will work for them, and also stay within building codes as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's an important consideration, isn't it?
Very important, yes. Yeah.
So when you are there next Tuesday, what are some of the things that you're going to touch upon when you visit?
Well, I'll probably talk a little bit about the history, how it got started, and we've gone through some reorganization because of some concerns, I guess, theological concerns with the United Methodist Church. It began as a United Methodist ministry, but the church has gone through some changes, so we had to kind of reorganize, but we're still, we didn't lose a step through all that process.
That's terrific.
When I was making the posters, Doug, I noted that it is part of the Indiana County Church Crisis Committee.
Yes. Right now, the Indiana County group is part of as Linda said, part of the Church Crisis Committee, because we needed to find a place where that was already established as a 501c3, and that seemed to be the best fit for us.
Yeah. So that organization, you fall under their umbrella.
Yes.
They have a number of different ministries.
They do. One of the other ministries that they have, they work in cooperation with ICAP, and if someone's in need, to help pay utility bills or things like that, then they can contact the Church Crisis Committee, and they work together with ICAP to try to meet those needs.
And what's cool about the Indiana County Church Crisis Committee, from what I understand, is they meet on a regular basis in order to talk about, first and foremost, what would all of the churches do for their parishioners or, for their people in order to help them during a crisis? What if we had a devastating hurricane? What if we had a huge flood? What if somebody dropped the bomb? I mean, anything that has to do with EMA, emergency management, comes down to this church concept of what would people be thinking about, including the media. You know, where would they be getting their information? Where would they flock to in order to try and get help? And so the Indiana County Church Crisis Committee is really cool.
Yeah, it's a great organization, and of course we see, of course, on our televisions right now, hurricane responses in the last couple of weeks. One in North Carolina, this one centered in Florida. But you know, there are crises like these happening all over the world, and it might be defined differently depending upon where you are regionally. But to have an organization that's going to be able to step in and step up at the same time is really important.
So the AARP local chapter recognizes that our older residents, and we're talking 50 plus, that's not very old, that's a huge chunk of the population. When the AARP figures out how they want to bring local information to people, we try and have people who are going to be in a position to help them the most. And one of the huge things about the AARP is they're championing the same thing that Aging Services is championing, and that's the concept of aging in place. Yeah. People want to stay in their homes as long as they possibly can. So it was really cool for me to find out that, you know, Ramps of Hope, first of all, there's no age limit.
No, there's no age limit. When we go out, I don't want to take too much time, but part of the process is we do a short interview just to capture some important information from the family. And then we do require a couple documents to be completed. One is a physician recommendation form where the person's doctor would say a ramp would be helpful because of their condition. And the other one is a liability and release form that would need to be notarized. And then from there, we'll design the ramp, and then we build everything off-site, and then we come in and do the installation.
Mobility issues are so important for people who, and usually when it gets to the point where they need a ramp, they are making a transition from being able to get around by themselves without assistance to all of a sudden needing to be helped in some way. And mobility is such an important part of that whole mix.
It is. It it takes, well, you have to be safe getting in and out of your home, and often steps can be a little dangerous for certain people and so on. But we get a lot of calls, a lot of referrals from visiting nurses. We get a lot of referrals from personal care facilities, hospitals, doctors, friends and neighbors, churches.
Yeah. Linda, this program coming up on Tuesday is an example of how AARP is able to reach out to people around Indiana County, putting it in the Indiana Mall, which is so,
It's handicap accessible.
Yeah, there you go. There's that.
Yes.
There's that. But it is so central to Indiana County in terms of being able to get there and find plenty of parking and several access points, many access points around to get into it. And so this is a really good event, and the ongoing series that you're able to do there, courtesy of the Indiana Mall, it's a really important thing for seniors.
Yes, and we want to remind the AARP on a national basis is not the same as belonging to your local AARP. We do need you to be an AARP national member, but it only costs $10 to be an AARP local chapter member. And then you get our newsletter, you get information about all of this, but our speaker is open to the public.
Yeah.
We want everybody and anybody who has any interest at all about disability accessibility, about the future of how disability accessibility will be handled by the county. And the Indiana County Church Crisis Committee, we would like every single person who is out there who is a member of a church to make sure that they become a part of that Church Crisis Committee, because this is a great network.
It's doing good work. Good, solid work, and it's something that is really, really needed, and that communication aspect that AARP is fostering here is a really important thing, too.
Our speakers are usually every third Tuesday at 1 o'clock, but because the holidays are coming up, there will be some variance on that.
Okay.
And so we invite people to get in touch with us and make sure that they get our newsletter and our information and when our next speakers will be and what they'll be about, because there are great ones coming down the pike.
Best contact way is Facebook?
Actually, the best contact way is text to a cell phone,
Okay.
because I'm the secretary.
Old school.
724-422-5852. We have found that email, and there's so many ways to communicate, as you well know.
Yeah.
This is the easiest. Just about everybody has a cell phone and is able to either text or make a phone call. And so that's Linda Gibson, 724-422-5852.
Very good. Very good.
And it's this Tuesday, which I believe is the 15th. I don't have a calendar.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, the 15th.
Yes.
Yeah.
1 p.m. because it's our 1 o'clock speaker series, and it's at the Indiana Mall Community Room.
There you go. Hey, Doug, how many people are with Ramps of Hope right now?
Oh, my goodness. We have a lot of volunteers, mostly from local churches, but we have volunteers that cover, well, they don't just cover, but for example, if we're working in Blairsville, we have some folks down there that volunteer to help, Indiana, Clymer, Robinson, all over the county. But as far as, I guess, leadership, there's myself as a coordinator, and then my partner, Kenny Shramko. He's from Grace Church here in Indiana. Mm-hmm. He's another coordinator. So we work together to cover Indiana County, and then we pull together a team to do the construction.
Yeah, terrific. Now, when you're building ramps, of course, that incurs an expense.
Yes.
How do you find those funds?
Well, the funding, most of the funding right now is coming from local churches or private organizations that wish to donate towards that. Mm-hmm. We also, in the past, we have applied for grants. That's one of our needs going forward. We're going to need to work with someone who's familiar with acquiring grants to be able to apply for those to help keep us going. We also get donations if we build for a family and they wish to donate. We ask them if they're able to. If they're not, we still build the ramp.
Yeah.
But if they're able to, we request a donation. Then it goes into paying it forward.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ramps of Hope, and it's the 1 o'clock series coming up on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, 1 o'clock at the Indiana Mall in the community room. Linda Gibson, Doug Hilliard, thanks so much.
And thank you, Dylan.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Boomer Sports coming up next, and then Jake is in the WCCS newsroom with us. And in our next half hour here on Indiana in the Morning, we're going to be meeting, who do I have? Oh, Jonathan Bogart's going to come in from the Indiana County Historical and Genealogical Society. So we'll have a visit with him, and I think Veldora Rice will be a part of that conversation too. Right now, here's Boomer.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Sports Grenade, sponsored by AutoZone. Get the Zone, AutoZone. Cincinnati head coach Zach Taylor returns to my Sunday pressure cooker. His 1-4 Bengals have their backs against the wall. I also have 5 quarterbacks in the hot spot, starting with New England rookie quarterback Drake May making his starting debut. Good luck with that. Deshaun Watson, Will Levis, Justin Herbert, and Dak Prescott will also feel the heat as they step on the field.